I'm now pleased to introduce Session 7, What Frontline Responders Need Most, Shaping the TFGBV Global Response Hub. This session will be led by Hera Hussain, CEO of Chayn, and Eva Blum-Dumontet, Head of Movement Building and Policy at Chayn, a global survivor-led organization that uses open source technology to support survivors of gender-based violence. Please note that some content during the session may be triggering or involve disclosures of TFGBV. Please take any measures needed to manage your well-being, including turning down the volume or stepping away at any time. Hera and Eva, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Both Eva and I are from Chayn. Eva's going to be sharing slides. We also have another colleague with us who is in this chat. Her name is Chayn. So we will be starting now. Eva, can you please share the slides? Thank you. Great. Well, thank you so much for inviting us to speak here. I will be introducing you to the Global Response Hub, which is, we hope a really helpful tool that is missing at the moment from the TFGBV ecosystem, especially looking at how we support survivors and how we support each other as frontline responders. So, but before I get into that, I will introduce you to Chayn so you understand more about us and what brings us here. We are tech nonprofit. I started in 2013. We create resources for survivors of gender-based violence. Please do look at our website, where we work in about 14 languages. All of our resources help survivors identify if they're going through abuse and how they can heal from it. And we also do advocacy around preventing abuse in the first place through trauma-informed design to more safer and more inclusive technology, and also how we can change the understanding of what tech abuse looks like in different cultural contexts. So if we go to the next slide. Like I said, these are the three different pillars that we were, and you may have seen some of our work in different forums. Please, if you are someone who is supporting survivors in any of the regions or languages that we work in, please do get in touch with us. We are a global remote team. And, we really care about making sure that the internet is a place where women and non-binary people can be free from abuse and also free to just live a good life just like anybody else. Let's go to the next slide. I want to introduce you. So before my colleague Eva is going to show you what the Global Response Hub looks like, but I wanted to take you I want to share with you how we got there in the first place. So a few years ago, a couple of seasoned domestic violence and gender-based violence experts who've been working at the intersection of technology and gender-based violence, like myself, we all realized that there was a really critical need in our ecosystem, which is that we had survivors coming to frontline responders with cases of abuse, but we didn't, and we had some guides, some information, some platforms had some advice, but there really wasn't a place to bring individual cases that did not fit into any of those guides and to get that complex support for complex cases. So we thought that there were some really good examples of this being trialed and done in tech clinics across universities, mostly in North America. So we really felt like something like that for the world would be really, really powerful. So a bunch of us, activists got together in academics, and that formed the Tech Safety Roster Group. And then, one of the best things about working in a well-connected ecosystem is that nobody has a unique idea. While we had this idea, we were working towards it. UNFPA had also identified this as a problem, and they put a call out for someone to build a platform that did exactly that. So we applied for that and we got that. So on behalf of the Tech Safety Roster Group, Chayn, applied for this bid so that all of us can work on it, and we were very fortunate to get it, and we've been working alongside UNFPA to actually build this out. And you're going to hear so much more about this from Eva. But if anyone's interested, please do connect with our colleague Chayn, who is in the chat and has posted the link to Chayn, and also Eva and myself. And I'll pass it over to Eva now.
Thank you so much, Hera. Thank you for this introduction to Chayn and to the Global Response Hub. And I should say already at this point is that this is a temporary name. The name will likely, most definitely will change. So when the platform is released, you'll probably get to know it under a different name. But for now, for the purpose of this session, let's refer to it as the Global Response Hub. So in the previous session, there was a discussion about what do people think are the barriers to offering proper response to survivors of tech-facilitated gender-based violence. And what most of you who were there in the session have said is that the key issue was the lack of training. And so, in a sense, the Global Response Hub is going to try and help us bridge this gap. So we've talked about Chayn and how a lot of our resources are traditionally designed for survivors of TFGBV. And the Global Response Hub is a completely different kind of project, because this is a platform that is not for survivors, but really for the frontline workers that are working in the JBV sector and supporting survivors of JBV. And as many of you will know, tech-facilitated gender-based violence is just one element of the ecosystem of abuse that survivors will experience. So people don't go to them saying, oh, I've experienced TFGBV. They go to them with a wide sort of range of abuse they have experienced, and TFGBV will be one aspect of it. Now, the reality, as many of you have identified, is that a lot of the frontline workers working on gender-based violence and violence against women and girls, frontline response, they don't necessarily know how to respond to the tech aspect of or the tech aspect of this issue, the issue of tech-facilitated gender-based violence. So we wanted to create a platform that is really designed for them, to allow them to find answers to their questions, find the resources that they need, but also be able to ask questions to tech experts, to vetted tech experts that can offer them trauma-informed response that are informed by their tech experience, but also by their experience of working with in the gender-based violence sector. So this is really the roots of this partnership between Chayn, UNFPA, and the tech roster. And so we're not working in silos. We're really there to be a tool for the many organizations that are already working on supporting frontline survivors. So a lot of those organizations that have traditionally been funded by governments, we are there to offer them an additional layer of support. So as I said, the Global Response Hub is there to support this global ecosystem. It's will have frontline experts. Frontline experts will be able to seek specialist advice and technical answers. All technologists are cutting edge experts on the tech side of things, but also there are people that we have chosen to work with for their experience supporting JBV workers in the past, or for their experience and expertise on gender-based violence issues. And we are working also with strategic partners like UNFPA and the UNFPA network to be able to make sure that we reach the organizations that will be needing us. So I'm going to show you just now exactly what the technology the platform will look like. This is a draft version of it, so to speak. This is a version of it that's very much in development. Can I just check that you're seeing my screen? You can see it. Okay, I see. Yeah, great. Thumbs up from the audience. That's what I wanted to see. So So you will see it might change a little bit, but this is the kind of like working design that we have for now. It's a platform that welcomes you with a search bar where you can or you will be invited to search for resources, guides, expert advice. They will be sort of like crowdsourcing all the existing resources, so people will be able to search by the most sort of recently published sources, or it will be divided by different categories. So like you can get a flavor of the categories that you'll see, like device security, online safety, legal rights, support services, stalkerware detection. This is a little bit of an about page about the Global Response Hub to allow people to better understand what they can expect from this platform. And so in order to be able to communicate with technologists, you'll be able to create an account and join and ask your questions directly. So there's also a get in touch page. And yeah, this is more of the platform that you can see with the different kinds of resources that will be created and accessible, and or contacts page. So this is what you'll be able to expect from the platform. I'm going back to my slide just right now. And with that in mind, there's also here, if you want to, at your own pace and in your own time, look through this demonstration, you can use the QR code on the bottom right, and you'll be able to access the website I was just showing you right now. But with that in mind, I'd like to walk you through a series of questions to be able to get your feedback on what you've seen so far and the concept behind the Global Resource Hub. So I have a couple of questions for you that I'm going to be sharing, and if you can use the chat, that would be to respond. That would be fantastic. So first of all, the first question I'd like to ask you all to think about is, what are your first impressions of the hub and of what I've just shown you right now? So if you can go to the Zoom chat and let us know your thoughts, and I will be giving you about a minute to do so.
Sorry, I need my...
Let us know if anyone has any struggle with using the chat to let us know. Okay, I'll move on to the next question. But please feel free to carry on also answering question 1 as I move on to question 2, which is, how could this hub support your work or the work of your partner organizations? So I'm just also going to be answering questions as they come, although it might have a little bit more time at the end to answer more questions. But just to answer Josh's question about integrating AI, no, that the only use of AI we're likely to make is around translation, and even that is not something we're entirely definitive on. We might actually evolve it towards working with translator, but so no, it's not going to be an AI focused platform. But thank you for that question. That's really helpful.
Okay, I'll just jump in to answer a couple of questions as well to give you a break. Just to answer a couple of the questions and combine them, the idea is that this is not going to be survivor facing. It's specifically to help survivor advocates or frontline workers to answer their questions who are advocating on behalf of survivors. So the resources that are going to be there, they might be useful for survivors, and that's why they're going to be like on the public page. But to actually ask questions and answers, you have to be vetted. So just to make sure that we are letting in only like frontline workers, because there are lots of other places where survivors can get support and see resources, but we specifically want to design this for service providers.
Thank you for that, Hera. I'm going to move on to the next question, which is, what would make you trust and recommend this platform?
And yeah, just to again jump in, I think there's been a couple of comments about legislative reform. This is not going to be about legislative reform. This is specifically the insights from this could lead to the practitioners coming up with and the cross sharing of strategies. But this is not about legislative reform. It's specifically about supporting survivors in the present. But one thing that we do want to do, and we're keen, the UNFPA is keen on as well, is that because we will be gathering, like many of you are saying, people from across the world and identifying trends, we want to make sure those trends are then feeding back to the entire community, and that we are able to build on top of that on all the policy and advocacy work that's happening in the world. But the platform itself is specifically going to be about supporting practitioners with answering their questions around complex TFGBV cases.
Hera, we have a question from Joshua that I don't know if you or Chayn might be best placed to answer, around the use of a language, and how do we ensure that that participants, that frontline workers that might not be well versed in specific TFGBV language can still find the answers. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, great question. It's actually something we're working on right now. So Chayn, who is the product manager and our colleague, she's in the chat as well, and she can also add more. But we want to ensure that the people who are vetted to come into the platform have gone through some basic TFGBV training, whether that's through the UNFPA's has a whole training suite to do with TFGBV, but also there will be some components of some training that people have to undertake before they enter, so that we are clear about the language, the commonly asked questions. We'll make sure that for queries that are frequently asked, we are directing people to that, and that the forum remains for more complicated queries. So we are building some training and some informational modules that will be on the website to help, like you said, to make sure that everybody who is interacting with the platform are on as level of field as possible in terms of like knowledge and terminology. But if anybody has any suggestions, please do. This is so helpful to read all your comments, because it helps us think through what we're doing and what we may be missing.
And I'm just gonna jump in to answer Carmen's question about what type of functionality beyond the resource library. There will be this option of actually having a conversation or having a dialogue, forum type of platform with the experts. So if your question is not directly answered in the resource library, you'll have the option to directly ask your question to our experts, who will have a couple. We would expect within 48 hours to be able to respond. Okay, I will take you to the next question then, which is what could make this platform easier to use? Any thoughts on this or any more question coming from you would be happy to answer.
Yeah, there's a question we can pick up on from Jay about like how many credible experts from my own country are going to be engaged in. That's a good question. So to begin with, we are going to go with technologists that come from people who are already in our community. And when I say our community, people who are working on TFGBV. But then after that's going to be the first pool of people, because we need to test this platform, make sure it works well. We want to make sure that our technologists are, like Eva said, they understand gender-based violence and all of the sort of, like the nuances that come with it. And we will be making extra effort. But as Eva presents more to you, you'll see that we're focusing on particular regions to begin with, just in the first few months. And then, it is going to be a global platform. So, but then if you have people that you think we should be engaging with, please do get in touch with Chayn, and I'll ask Chayn to put her email address down. And also, folks at the UNFPA, we will be expanding it more, but it really depends on who we find from our networks. It will be really difficult to have global representation. So that's why we're starting with a few places, and then the idea is that we are going to be thinking more about representation in terms of languages, and that might be a helpful way of doing this, but it's not going to be perfect for sure. It's a really difficult thing to find the right technologist volunteers, but we really want to get this right. So if you have people you think we should be speaking to, please let us know.
And at the end of this presentation, there will be a QR code towards a form to fill. So if you'd like to be more involved in the testing process, or if you're interested in trying it out, by all means, we'd love to hear from you. So we'll get to that as well. So people were asking, for those of you who are late and didn't get the chance to look at the website, I've just shared the link to the platform. It's obviously a link towards a platform that's a work in progress. So this is a temporary version that you'll be looking at. Hera, do you want to respond to the question on how we'll make it culturally specific, given that it's a global platform?
Yeah, this is a good question. So I think this is why it's the way we're thinking about it is we want to make sure that we are providing the support to the tech volunteers to understand the different cultural nuances. We're going to be building a training module for them as Chayn, and we do work globally. But like I said, that we will also make it clear to our frontline friends that the technologists should not be offering advice about how to support survivors outside the parameters of the fact that there's a tech safety issue. Of course, every tech safety issue is also much more than that. But the tech experts we're not expecting them to give advice about anything else apart from, as an example, if there's some complex stalkerware that someone has installed, on someone's, for instance, someone's car or their, child's school van, the tech expert can provide advice about how to locate it, what to do about it. They're not gonna be providing advice about how to confront the abuser, what to do with law enforcement. That's not what the platform is for. It's specifically looking at what's missing from our global ecosystem, which is that very complex advice that is needed, because the frontline responders should be equipped to deal with their cultural context and how to then support the survivors through it. The tech volunteers are only about the tech problem.
And I want to add also at this point that, this is also where we really benefit from the partnership with UNFPA. And as I'll be explaining in a moment, we're going to be initially doing a launch in some pilot countries, and that also allows us to have conversations with local experts as well to be able to better understand their context and also inform the response of technologies. So obviously, we'll also be able to evaluate the response and the interest and the take up once we do a global launch. But I think this is where it's also really important to really stress that this is not a platform that exists in isolation, but it's really very much a part of an ecosystem of organizations that will be also feeding their own sort of local expertise to us and making sure that we are able to have a dialogue between the organizations that are working as frontline responders and the technologists, so that we can always offer responses that are better informed. Okay, I'll take us to the next slides, which is referring to what I was just sharing now. So the countries will be piloting the early release will be Benin, Egypt, and Kenya. And so at the moment, between February and March, this is where we're establishing our expert registry and feedback cycles. We're also finalizing the platform. As I said, the one you've been seeing so far is very much still a work in progress. Between the period of March to August, this is when we'll have the iterative testing and finalizing functional requirements. So this is also where it will be essential to be able to have these conversations between some of your organizations that might be working with frontline workers or might be frontline workers yourself, to be able to make sure that the platform that we're releasing is really addressing your needs. And we're aiming for a global launch and rollout in September 2026. And then this will be an ongoing process and an ongoing discussion also about the future of this platform and how do we ensure its sustainability over time and how we can keep it scalable to the needs of frontline workers, and obviously there will be iterative improvements that will be ongoing after that point. If there are any, I'm getting feedback that there is there's a mistake in the pilot countries that I've written down. It's actually Kenya, Benin, and Nigeria and Ghana. So it's not going to be Egypt. Sorry about that.
But if there's anyone here from Egypt, we did discuss it a lot. And we do want to. We know there's a really thriving feminist tech space there, so we do want to support frontline practitioners in Egypt too. We just didn't choose it for the pilot. So if there's anyone here from Egypt, we would still love to hear from you. And anywhere else, actually, just anyone who could really benefit as a user, please let us know.
Thank you. Now, for the last part of this session, so by all means, if there's any more questions, we are here and we'll be here also in the virtual booth to answer any questions that you may have. But we would also love you to use this QR code, or Chayn is also sharing a link in the chat. And there is a form with questions to be able to kind of better understand your profile, and the role you could be playing in helping us shaping the future of the hub. So this is also the best way to stay updated and receive updates about our launch, and collaborate on this project with us. So we are actually a couple of minutes early. So if you want to take this time to fill out this form, this would be great. Hera, I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to share.
Yeah, I mean, like Eva said, that, we are really keen to hear from everybody now that you know that the platform is like a very targeted intervention around, complex TFGBV queries. If you have any resources that are about online safety, that are not like specifically around how to solve common questions that survivors have, we are building the resource library, so we would love to include it. And if you feel like you have some extra thoughts about this, because you may have wondered that you wanted a platform like this, we're really keen to hear from you, because we want to make sure this is actually useful for everybody in the sector. And like Victoria says, we have a dedicated booth in as well. And Chayn, our colleague, is going to be there, and we'd love to hear from you there too. Okay, well, given that we have no more comments in the chat or questions, then, for the UNFPA team, thank you so much for giving us this space to do the session. And we look forward to seeing you all in some other event and giving you more of an update about what we've been up to. But please stay in touch.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Hera and Ava, and to everyone who contributed your feedback. The Global Response Hub is being built with practitioners at its center, so your inputs today will directly shape its development. This brings us to the networking visit break. For the next 30 minutes, we encourage you to network with speakers and participants, to visit the exhibition booths and ask questions in the chat rooms. Please note that we have fantastic experts available to answer your questions at the booths. So please do go and visit each one and explore what they have to offer, engage with the exhibitors, and share what you are doing to address TFGBV in your region and context. I've been your host for the first half of today, and another fantastic moderator will be taking care of you for the second part of the day. Thank you again for being with us, and we'll see you back in 30 minutes.